The Hinderer Flashpoint. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, my perspective in buying this knife is buying it out of sheer banal collector curiosity. It's the smallest of the 3 available fixed blades from Hinderer and is marketed as either a neck knife or kind of an everyday carry utility fixed blade. So the 2 questions I had when I got it would be, first of all, is there going to be a place for a knife like this in my collection? And is the fit and finish going to live up to the notorious Hinderer hype? So these are the 2 things I'm going to cover in this short overview. So first of all, let's just talk a little bit about design and execution. This is obviously a derivative of the XM series of Hinderer knives. And what you've got is a relatively wide spear point blade profile. Now this blade is CNC ground, it isn't a custom, but it does exhibit a number of small details that I think go above and beyond most productions. You've got great anodizing in the jimping. You've got nicely textured G10 handles. That 3D texturing is very nice. There's some more jimping in the lower fill of the grip. It really shows some nice details. The chamfering is consistent. The branding is tasteful and minimal. And of course, it's made in the USA. All things which could arguably command some of the price, along with the exclusivity of these knives, as the runs are very limited. The finishing of the actual blade stock is the very popular Tumbled or Stonewash style, and it does work pretty well. The grip is a 3-finger grip with room for your pinky a little bit at the end. Really, you need to put a lanyard in that hole to make it work. And this is where the design, to me, starts maybe coming apart a little bit, because you're looking at what is fundamentally a very robust design, and yet you're not able to really get the grip on it to utilize this knife in any sort of properly heavy use way. Furthermore, you've got what I can maybe only describe as a half choil at the edge of the secondary bevel. So you kind of want to choke up there like you would on an XM series knife, but you can't, because if your finger slips at all, you run the risk of cutting yourself pretty badly. Although the spear point profile is definitely more suited for slicing tasks than the previous generation Spanto profiles, it still nevertheless is a very thick blade overall, and even though I only use this knife very lightly, I would greatly prefer having a folding knife that had a much thinner profile on it, even something like the Paramilitary 2 for slicing tasks. The stock is just too thick, and they don't really narrow it down enough at the edge. Secondarily, and this is just kind of a quality comment, it really wasn't very sharp out of the box. The use of Duratech 20CV is an interesting choice, maybe relevant to this style of knife, and bears some commentary. Basically, 20CV is a somewhat less common equivalent of Boulder Uderholm's M390 or Carpenter's CTS 204P. I've sometimes seen this steel as described as a stainless version of D2, and while I think that probably breaks down if you start looking at it more closely, it is true at least that this knife was designed with high corrosion resistance and high wear resistance. Relatively speaking, it's going to act more like a tool steel and hopefully be easier to resharpen than more common choices like S30V. These general features being noted, I have to admit I haven't really used the knife very seriously, and there are people such as Cliff Stamp who have done more rigorous testing of Hinderer's use of 20CV and have found it to have problems. So I can't really say that this knife is certainly going to be well suited just given the steel type it has. So from a user standpoint, I would rather use a small folding knife for the slicing tasks that I think are appropriate for this cutting edge length. Now for a collector though, the fine details are quite interesting, and if I wanted to round out my Hinderer collection, I think that this would be a good choice. Thanks a lot for watching, and please make sure to comment below and let me know if you think my analysis makes sense. Is there a use for a high-end small fixed blade that I'm missing? Let me know again in the comments below, and thanks a lot for watching, for checking out some of these other videos, and of course for your subscription. Have a great day.